Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly achieve their goals, while others spend years treading water, drowning in routine and the expectations of others? The secret often isn't about talent or luck. It's hidden in three powerful tools that are available to all of us. Today, we're going to talk about the power of personal boundaries, true discipline, and unwavering determination. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll look at these seemingly mundane words in a completely different light. You'll see them not as a prison, but as your ultimate key to freedom and achievement. So, let's break down how this powerful trio truly works. It didn't just start yesterday. In a world overloaded with information, constant notifications, and social pressure, the ability to manage your attention and energy has become not just a useful skill, but a necessity for survival. Boundaries are your personal no that protects your yes. Discipline is a muscle that helps you follow through on what you've promised yourself, and determination is the fuel that keeps that engine from stalling. So let's start with the foundation, the first and perhaps most crucial element, the ability to set personal boundaries. Let's be clear, this isn't about becoming a rude recluse or building an impenetrable wall around yourself. Quite the opposite. It's about deep self-respect. It's about protecting your most valuable and crucially non-renewable resources. And what are these resources? Your time, your energy, and your attention. In today's world, these are the most valuable currency, and everyone around you is constantly trying to claim them. Let's consider a familiar scenario. It's the end of the workday. You're tired, you have an urgent project to finish, and you need to focus. Then a colleague approaches asking for quick help with their task. Sound familiar? What typically happens? Not wanting to appear unhelpful or selfish, you agree. As a result, you stay late. Your own task is rushed and poorly done. And inside, a deep-seated frustration and resentment begin to build towards your colleague, but most importantly, towards yourself for this perceived weakness. Now consider a different scenario. To that same request, you calmly, politely, and with a smile respond. I'd love to help, but it's critically important for me to finish my report by 6 this evening. How about we revisit this tomorrow morning with a fresh perspective? Here's what happens. You haven't offended anyone. You haven't refused help indefinitely. You've simply and honestly stated your current priority. You've shown that you value your time and your commitments. As a result, you finish your work on time, you go home stress-free, and your colleague will likely react with understanding and even respect. And this brings us to a major myth we've been taught since childhood, that saying no is selfish. But this is a dangerous misconception. In reality, every polite and conscious no to something unimportant is a loud and confident yes to what truly matters to you, your health, your goals, your family. It's not selfishness, it's strategic life management. Remember, boundaries aren't walls that cut you off from the world. They're a fence around your garden. It doesn't prevent you from talking to your neighbours, but it protects the valuable things you're cultivating within. Okay, we've established the boundaries. You've successfully protected your space, your garden, and freed up valuable time and energy. But what do you do with that newfound freedom? Just sit around guarding the fence? Absolutely not. This is where the second crucial element comes into play. Simple, straightforward discipline in achieving your goals. Whoa, hold on. I can practically hear you cringing at the word discipline. Your mind probably conjures images of harsh drills, self-punishment, 5 a.m. alarms, and ice-cold showers. Forget all that. We're not discussing military-style discipline here. We're talking about a conscious, personal choice. True discipline isn't about sheer willpower, which, let's be honest, eventually runs dry. It's about the ability to consistently choose what you want most over the fleeting desire you feel right now. Let's illustrate this with a simple example. Say you want to build a habit of reading 20 pages every evening, but when the time comes, your hand instinctively reaches for the TV remote or your phone to scroll through social media. That's the fleeting desire right there. So, what do you truly want most? You want to become more knowledgeable, broaden your horizons, learn new things that can advance your career, or simply make you a more engaging conversationalist. That's your bigger, long-term objective. Well, discipline is that crucial bridge between these 2 points. It's like a muscle that needs to be trained, and you don't train it through brute force, but by creating a system. For instance, you might put your phone in another room, place the book right on your pillow, then make a small pact with yourself. I'll just open it and read 1 page, not 20, just 1. More often than not, once you start, you'll find it surprisingly easy to read all 20. And this is where we debunk a very popular myth. The idea that discipline requires motivation. People often think, I'll start when I feel inspired. But that's a trap. In reality, it works exactly the opposite way. Motivation doesn't lead to action. Action creates motivation. When you overcome that momentary reluctance and finally read that single page, your brain checks a box. Success. I did it. You get a small burst of dopamine, that feel-good hormone. And the next day, taking that step will feel just a little bit easier. Discipline isn't about waiting for the perfect mood to strike. It's about creating that mood, one small, consistent step at a time. Great! You've set your boundaries. You've started training your discipline muscle. You're taking small, consistent steps every day. Everything feels perfect. But life, as we know, has a funny way of throwing curveballs. Then one day, things don't go according to plan. You slipped up and ate that cake. You skipped a workout, or your passion project, into which you poured your heart and soul, crashed and burned. Your motivation hits rock bottom. Your discipline falters. You've hit a brick wall, feeling nothing but profound disappointment. So what then? Do you just throw in the towel and revert to your old habits? This is where the third, quietest, yet most unyielding hero of our story steps onto the stage: resolve. Resolve isn't about grand declarations or flashy social media posts. It's a quiet, inner tenacity. It's your ability to keep going, even when all seems lost. It's your personal, and yet, I'm going to try again. Consider the story of Instagram, an app we all know. It originally started as a completely different app called Burnout. It was clunky, overloaded with features, confusing for users, and on the brink of total failure. Its creators, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, could have simply given up, admitted defeat, and walked away. Many do. But they showed true resolve. They didn't abandon the idea entirely. Instead, they sat down and analysed what one feature in their failing app people actually liked, and that feature was photo filters. They then made the difficult but bold decision to scrap everything else and focus solely on photos. And that's how Instagram was born. Their resolve, not to surrender but to adapt, transformed what seemed like failure into a runaway success. And here's the key takeaway. Resolve is not an innate gift reserved for the chosen few. It's a skill, just like any other, and it's developed during your most challenging moments. Every time you face a setback, and instead of giving up, you tell yourself, okay, that didn't work. What can I do differently? You're flexing that resolve muscle. It's your ability to get back up after falling, not just once, but 10, even 100 times. Not because you're a superhero, but because you've decided your goal is truly worth it. Resolve is the fuel that keeps you going when everything else runs dry. Now here's the crucial piece, what ties everything together and turns it into a true system of personal effectiveness. We often see boundaries, discipline, and resilience as 3 separate, unrelated concepts. But here's the crucial insight. They only work together, amplifying each other in a unified cycle. Here's how it works. Clear boundaries create a safe space for you and free up energy. This gives you a resource you can then direct towards specific actions. Discipline takes that resource and transforms it into habits and daily progress. Every small step made through discipline strengthens your self-belief. And resilience, that's what saves the entire system when it inevitably falters, because we're not robots. It's resilience that, after a setback, prevents you from giving up entirely. Instead, it pushes you to re-establish your boundaries, return to your discipline, and try again. This is a continuous loop that makes you stronger with each turn. Boundaries protect discipline. Discipline fuels resilience, and resilience restores both boundaries and discipline. Ultimately, the power of these three qualities isn't about limitations. It's about consciously creating the life you truly want to live. It's about the freedom to choose yourself, your goals, and your path. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new episodes. Now, a question for you. What's the hardest for you? Saying no and upholding your boundaries, sticking to your discipline, or bouncing back after setbacks? Let me know your answer in the comments below. Let's discuss it.